And the team for the would be number 1 goalkeeper. Number 2, Thomas Senegal goalkeeper. Number 3, Jonathan Griffiths. Number 5, Arjun White. Number 7, Jonathan Doyle. Number 8, Andrew Moses Anderson. Number 10, David Woodley. Number 11, Daniel Faulkner. Number 12, Brendan Twigg. Number 13, Samuel French. Number 14, Jay Calgary. Number 15, Phil Romer. Number 16, Louis Gilroy, Robert American. Number 21, Christopher Crawford. Number 22, Jamie Doyle. Number 23, Nicholas Valdoran. Number 24, Will Sharp. And the father of today's matches is Dr. Sheikh from India, Brian Pedro from the USA, and the reserve fires, Dan Lindholm from Singapore. And
Good evening everybody and welcome to the final match on day 3 of the Hero Hockey Junior World Cup for men in New Delhi, India, and it's from Pool D. New Zealand take on England. Well, both sides lost their opening matches on day 1 of the competition, and this is how the table looks. Malaysia just got the better of South Africa. If you weren't with us for that one, 2-1 Malaysia ran out, and it's very, very tight. A win here for either England or New Zealand will give them a real chance of making the semi-final. Loss, and I'm afraid, well, there's going to be no quarter-final for the losing side. But Malaysia sitting top of the pile, but are by no means certain of making the quarter-finals. It is still possible that although they're top now, they could finish third, because it's possible to have 3 teams finishing on 6 points in this pool. So it's all to play for in this match, but a win vital for both sides. Anxious faces on the faces of the junior Blackstick fans and the England fans alike. Both sets of players, are out on the park, and we will start with the national anthems of both sides, starting with that of New Zealand. So the pressure firmly on both New Zealand and England as they prepare for this second match in Pool B for both sides. Andy Bull leads the England team down the New Zealand line, shaking hands. And then it's down to the business of trying to secure 3 points for both sides. Let's take a look at the two sides that will start this match, starting with the junior Black Sticks, and keep an eye out for Kane Russell, number 14, from penalty corners. He scored 2 in their opener against Malaysia, and 2 very good goals they were too. George Muir, number 12, and Jared Panchir, number 11. The other 2 players in the junior Black Sticks, 2 have played for the senior Black Sticks. It's New Zealand gave Malaysia a very good game in the opener. Grant Edwards is the coach for New Zealand. Now, as for England, injury news, number 5, Arjun Drayton Chana will not be playing. He picked up a nasty injury in their opener, but keep an eye out. Well, the only goal scored by David Goodfield in the opening loss to South Africa. Players returning from injury, number 16, Luke Taylor, and number 12, Brendan Creed. And they are coached by John Bleeby, who represented Great Britain at the Beijing Olympic Games. 2 umpires from the United States, Grant Hundley over on the far side of the pitch, and on the near side from India, Javed Sheikh. So here we go then. Both sides know what is at stake, both sides know what they have to do. The question is, which one of them can execute the game plan more efficiently? England had plenty of chances against South Africa, will just pay for their profligacy in front of goal. But they'll be well aware of the power of Kane Russell from penalty corners, and will be looking to avoid giving cheap ones away. Harry Gibson might have his work cut out, but it is New Zealand who get this game underway, attacking the goal to our right-hand side in all white, England in all red. And alongside me in the commentary box, David Faulkner, 8 years as the High Performance Director of England and GB Hockey, and of course a gold medal winning player from the Olympic Games in Seoul in 1988. Welcome, David.
Yeah, thank you, and I think your summary is just right. You know, watching these 2 teams in their first game, New Zealand most probably got punished for a number of unforced errors against Malaysia, but quite rightly, Russell did punish Malaysia twice on their corners, and England need to be aware. And England, it's about time. Most probably what we're looking for is conversion. For all the possession and stats, what we're saying, we know they create chances. It's about now converting them.
Yeah, England, after day 1, had the best stats, apart from India, in terms of possession, circle penetration. So a real body blow to lose that opener against South Africa.
Of course, this is the first game for England on pitch, on the main pitch. They played the first game on pitch 2. So slightly different environment for them, whereas New Zealand have played Malaysia in the first game out here.
And it's spread wide down that left-hand side. Unable to keep it in is Michael Ritchie. The aerial, not a good one, but it takes a deflection off Bedevanic, and it goes on up the park to Christopher Proctor. Proctor cuts back in field, then drops it out to Gould, who spreads it down the right-hand side, to the top of the circle, and unable to tip it on is James Gould.
Yeah, quite a feat for 2 young brothers to be in the same team, and it doesn't happen that often. And you know, and when you're having that kind of spirit in the team, whether you've got brothers in it, you know, over the years we've seen the Mantell brothers in the senior teams, and they both play at Surbiton, yes.
Well, the French know a thing or 2 about producing brothers in their side. The Geneste trio of brothers, Martin Brissac.
And you see it a lot in the hockey community, where you've got, you know, a sport that's club-based with families involved.
All rifled in. What's still in play? Is that out the outside of the post? Well, I'm not sure Harry Gibson quite meant that. I'd be fascinated to see a replay of that if we can get one. It sounded for all the world like it had rocketed into the side of the goal, but suddenly came back out and everyone was playing.
His body language showed as though he was going to leave it to go into the sideboard.
We can't see from that angle what happened. Maybe it was the sound of the pad, in fact. It sounded like the sideboard. Here's the reverse. Oh, it's on the outside of the post.
Hit the corner of the post to come straight back out.
Couldn't teach that, could you? Harry Gibson's heart must have been in his mouth when he saw that ball come back out into the circle. You're talking about the goal brothers. I know James Tyndall, who flies his hockey down at Surbiton, former GB striker, told me to look out for them. He said they were very impressive players.
Yeah, the two young men have done really well. They've come through the junior system, worked very hard at their game, well at the schoolboy level, then into the national age groups. And you've got to remember, this England team is a young team. There's only 2 players here that actually qualified, I think 3, sorry, apologies, that qualified England for the World Cup. So it's a young team.
Feel sorry for all the others that made the effort, got them there, and now don't have the opportunity to play.
Yeah, well, hopefully with, you know, the way that the system is developed now, that they do stay in the system and have opportunities from there. But it's just how, you know, the dates of birth have fallen.
Faulkner then with the sideline ball. And if you're wondering, yes, it is, son of.
Just leave him to get on with it.
Penalty corner for England. Good work from David Goodfield.
And he set himself up really well at the top of the D for the pass in, so he knew, and you know, and again, these crucial decisions. So the ball came in hard, he trapped it really well, just forcing the end, and the error from the New Zealander.
It was Nicholas Woods that came over the top, but it's the first touch. So many times we've talked about the first touch being key. That one was absolutely on the money, wasn't it? Dead, stopped dead, and he gave him the power of position.
And you can see that through this tournament. And a key theme, especially with the threat of an own goal, the amount of teams that are looking to do that, either to look for deflection or the first trap, or putting the defence under pressure.
So Phil Roper is stepping back. It looks like he's going to be taking this one on, and to his right is Luke Taylor. Roper and Taylor. Roper the further of the English players back, standing on the dotted line. Who's it going to be? It is going to be Roper, and it's a switch, but it's well defended. It was George Muir who read that.
Yeah, Muir got out there very well. They read the slip left.
Good work again down the line by Goodfield, but free hit has been given away of New Zealand. Let's have another look at the penalty corner.
So as it went to the left, they read it really well, because the move, he was running number 1 Muir, and he actually read and got to the ball. Pretty impressive, actually.
Well taken on the reverse stick. It's really good work from Jonathan Gault. Just Goodfield. Get it out from underneath his feet, and it's stuck out of play. And Joseph Sharp will take the sideline ball.
I think England will be pretty pleased with their start so far, being able to just build play and show their pattern of play that they've got.
Cross taken down by Roper. Roper now up the 25, feeds it forward, but it's away from Christopher Proctor. Russell tapping it out to Lala, who had a good game against Malaysia, the New Zealand number 9.
Yeah, he did. He made some really important tackles, and more importantly, some traps into the D where Malaysia were looking to penetrate quite a few times. England really happy now to step up on New Zealand here. So, whilst with the pressing word, it's the making sure the one-to-one and pick up of the ball. They're really putting New Zealand under pressure.
Quickly taken by Rhys Gibbs into the circle. We're going to get it clear. This is Proctor. Proctor runs into Russell, nothing coming. And again, good work in the circle, but England just dwelling on the ball for a fraction of a second and scrambling to get it out of the danger zone, but it's not quite clear yet. And it comes up and off the knee of the New Zealand player. And England get the free hit, but still can't get it clear. Cool evening in Delhi tonight. Both sides, I think, will be thankful for that. Nice triangles up this left-hand side by England. And then Roper up the park, and a couple of grabs to get it under control from Farrington, but he does eventually get there. And now it's round the back, it's with Bull. Bull fires the long ball up, but it's easy pickings for Lala.
Just seeing those errors that we saw the other night with New Zealand, and if they are going to get possession from England, they've got to make more of that, especially where they're countering as well, because they've got opportunities if they do take the ball. Also, what you'll not see out of shot is how high the England forwards have gone as well. They're looking to really stretch the game.
Yeah, there's 3 of them in the New Zealand 25, 2 of them on the edge of the circle. Just to give you an idea, and there's a huge swathe of space in the middle of the park. Not at the moment now because of where the play is, but the quarter of the pitch between the halfway line and the New Zealand 25 is very sparsely populated. Faulkner, little look up, nice pass to the edge of the circle. French, excuse me, that was Van der Eyck. Taylor, Gore, Walter Bull doesn't have a great deal of options, and he's running into a spot of bother. Kingston in close attendance, but good play by Bull, but he's just taking it a little bit too far, and now he needs to make that touch because he was out of position. Good direct running and another important touch in the circle, but Australia threatening. It's Farrington who's made that interception, and it was a vital one.
Yeah, really good defending there. You saw his body low and he kept with the ball.
The deflection just wide. Well worked from England.
What was good about that as well, it was good quality defending, but their ability to get up the field as well was really good.
Good field now in action defending down the other end, but again some good low defending this time from Brendan Creed. Those are the sort of errors that were costing New Zealand on day one, and England can ill afford those right now.
And games like that, they are key moments.
Farrington does well in defence. Just the presence of Morris was enough to put Griffiths off. Around the outside goes Michael Ritchie, at least he tries to. Good ball in, chance, half a chance. And the touch from the England defender almost putting Gibson in a spot of bother.
Good recovery though, and good work. New Zealand set that up really well with the reverse stick cross. but they got enough presence and the stick block in there and tidied up by Rob Farrington.
Van Workham, the player that got the shot away for the junior Black Sticks. Sam French arguing that he wasn't going for it because it was miles over his head. I think that was a late decision when he realised he was getting nowhere near it. Oh, that's a take. That's a really good take, one-handed. And then the underhand pass by Sharp. Sharp diving, getting the touch. He might still get the shot away. It's still there for England if they can find the shot. They do, and it's a goal. And it's James Gould.
And what you've got to look at is the touch that young Sharp made when he was on the ground, because he took it from the New Zealand defender. So the ball was picked up first reverse stick, which is fantastic. This is an excellent bit of skill reverse stick. And as we see the ball go in, he goes for it first, the first touch, but just does enough on that ball there.
Yeah, and it's a good finish from Gould, and England have the lead after about 14 minutes of play. James Gould, number 22, opens the scoring. And just as they did against South Africa, England take the lead. Roper. It's pinging around in there, and England get it away.
Defenders looked after Gibson then really well, because as soon as their ball was loose, they smothered it really well. Gould tied it up really well then. It's a good spell. What you'll get is England will give those opportunities to opposition because they play such an attacking style, but they do have the ability to defend well as well, and they've played that way all through this preparation period for their World Cup.
Good deflection. And a long corner. A couple of sublime bits of skill, wasn't there? First of all, the take, then the reverse pass, then the desire to keep running and fling yourself full length to get the first deflection, get up, get the second deflection, then get the touch to set up the goal.
Yeah, and Joe Sharp, when you look at that move, he intercepted, he passed, he also got the first deflection.
Strong defending from England. Taylor.
They've worked well down that left corner. Who's ever ended up in that left corner, they've defended really well so far.
Well, not for the first time. That diagonal ball puts England in a spot of bother. This time it's Bull, the skipper, who can't control it.
Mostly just a theme you've seen during the Junior World Cup after watching so much senior international hockey. It's just those odd little errors that you see more here that could be the difference, you know, in terms of keeping those unforced errors down at level in a game. I think he would have liked to have carried on with the ball then. And again, once again, you see the ball go outside the 25 to be transferred immediately into the D.
And then trying the arrow route to get clear, but Haslett picks it off, and this is Elder.
Yeah, another good defending in that left corner.
Good work from Sharp.
Yeah, and quite rightly, the umpire says you've got to be 5 metres first before I can even say if it's dangerous or not.
Radonovic sort of ran around the back of Griffiths and then ran into the line of the flight of the ball. lucky to get away with just a knock as opposed to a serious ball in the head.
Just starting to see Phil Roper get the ball a lot more in midfield and setting up play. He's getting it, releasing it and looking for it back again, which is really encouraging to see.
Roper over the 25, Roper heading towards the circle. Roper still going, good tackle on the edge by Kane Russell. Russell then releasing New Zealand down this left-hand side. He keeps going, gets the return pass. Russell's turn now to get to the edge of the circle, fire it into Panchir, who can't bring it under control, and England get it free. I can really see Russell and Roper being really key for both sides here. Most probably you're seeing some of their senior level experience as well that's coming through as well. Oh, the ball needed to be left there, didn't it? Because coming round the back was Banderak.
Just wondered if just a lack of communication between the guys then.
As you say, Roper really coming into this game. Ball. Griffiths is down on this left-hand touchline. Here he is. He tries to transfer it quickly, but Panchir is there to block.
And just coming back to Russell for New Zealand, he's playing a far more central role, whereas against Malaysia he played half-back.
Oh, the ball is on, but Luke tailored as well.
Good patience from England there, good defending from New Zealand as well, and that's why they've just got to wait for their opportunity to come. Spaces will come.
Jonathan Gore. That right-hand side where Taylor will try and fire it in, but it's easily picked off, and a chance here now for Australia with Morris to break. Morris making tracks towards the England circle. Nice ball in, and Gibson has to do well. Slightly wrong-footed, because coming at pace was Van Workum.
And that's why England have got to be patient, because New Zealand have the ability to punish, and when that ball was intercepted it was so far back, but they still had an opportunity at goal.
New Zealand moving the ball from their 25 to the England circle in the blink of an eye. Twisting and turning is Radonovic.
It's a great bit of defending from Roper, and look how quickly he pulls out from the D.
Roper still going. Roper running almost 3/4 the length of the pitch. Midfield does well to keep it alive. This is Griffiths down the left-hand side for England. Griffiths into the circle. Lala's there.
Lala's picked off a few balls now in this game. He's been quite central in defending in the defensive work for New Zealand.
Roper needs to come off after that little run. He's shouting at the bench and waving. I'm not surprised.
Both teams doing a high level of substitutions to keep the intensity up, and Gibson did really well to read that, and very calm in his clearance as well. And this is Roper here, really low good work. All the international players will be doing that, but more importantly on the move.
Yeah, just go back to the Gibson save. He was obviously looking for the touch from Van Workum. He was moving to his left, and then when Van Workum missed it, then had to shift his weight, hence why he just falling back, but he got enough on it, and as you say, David, stay calm under pressure to complete the clearance.
We've gone, what now, 25 minutes, nearly 25 minutes. Here's that chance again, and the bit was he just looked around, cleared the ball. And I think both teams, England have mostly settled quicker than New Zealand, but New Zealand must be still optimistic. They've got a few opportunities. They know if they can win, especially on turnovers, they can do something with the ball. England most probably just got to show a little bit more patience in possession.
Yeah, they were okay for the opening 15 minutes, weren't they? Just as after the goal, they've started to push it a little bit to take the extra pass, as it were. Yes, that's a wasted ball out of defence, turning ball over cheaply. A chance here for Richie. See New Zealand with the more circle penetrations.
And that's what I mean about patience, and just keep making sure there's movement up front for them. But all credit to New Zealand, because they're pressing high as well, they're reducing the amount of options they've got. Forced him wide, he still got the shot away.
Oh, it had to be saved, and it was saved. Ball as well. Oh, brought down by Griffiths. That looked stinkingly high stick. But Griffiths gets away with it.
That's better from England. They're far better than tidying up with those. And they've just been a bit loose for the last 5 minutes, as you say.
Farrington up the sideline, nicely played back into the path of Farrington. Well, ball out to French was the right idea.
Just looking at the pattern of play, both teams are just testing each other out now. And you've not really got this game has taken a hold at the moment, but there's enough here for both teams to be encouraged by.
Ball with a nice take on the reverse stick. Shoves it forward, but his forwards are going in the opposite direction. Going to want it back in the New Zealand half, I would suspect. Oh well, he's allowing it just inside England territory. Inside the final 10 minutes of the first half, New Zealand 0, England 1. The game very evenly balanced. Well, there's a good steal and a chance here. Banderak one-on-one with the keeper. What can Banderak do here? Good save. Well done to the keeper, Richard Joyce. England take it quickly and still on the attack, and the ball to the right was needed, wasn't it, surely? Hold on, we're going to go upstairs. Farrington's taking it early, but England is saying it's inside the circle.
And I expect that what they're going to say is the foot was in the D, and that's what the question they've asked. Interesting going back to Banderak's one-on-one. I'll wait for the listen to the umpire.
England's claiming that the foot was inside the circle, and I blew it outside. England are looking for a penalty corner. Looking for a penalty corner for England.
Right, that's inside.
Yeah, good call.
Proctor, the player, inside. Either one.
They're pretty straightforward, I would have thought, coming back.
Okay, let's listen in.
I have a decision for you. Okay, Tim. Ball hit the New Zealand foot inside the circle. The decision is a penalty corner. England retain their referral. Okay, thank you.
So there we go. England retain their penalty corner. What are we going to say about Banderak quickly?
I just wonder when he, you know, when we look back on it, when we've got an opportunity to look back on it, when he, a great take on the halfway line and the one-on-one. I'm not sure he really looked at moving the goalkeeper. He went in a straight line, so he didn't really move the goalkeeper in the first place. It was easier for the goalie to actually set up that 1v in terms of defending there. I'd like to have seen him move to the right or move to the left to change the angle of the goalkeeper and then change direction for the shot. But it's so easy from here.
as it's coming from a former high-performance director, I'll take that as that's what's supposed to happen. Anyhow, let's get back to the penalty corner now. Chance for England to double their lead. With 9 minutes remaining in the first half, and they do! Wonderful penalty corner, Luke Taylor. Rifles it in to the roof of the net, and Taylor gives England some breathing space.
So went to the second castle and he placed it beautifully to the goalkeeper left. And I've made this point in a number of games about the amount of flickers who are putting the ball across the goalkeeper. A number of times because of the pace, and Luke really did put that pace on the ball then. Well done, that's a good conversion. I think John Bleeby were pretty pleased to start seeing some conversion from the corners that England have been winning in the last few months.
England have some breathing space, but we've seen teams on a couple of occasions come back from 2 down, so there's still plenty of work to do.
And I would add to that, from what I've seen here, I've made a comment earlier in a couple of games about the quality of this Junior World Cup to the previous 2. And for me, there are no weak teams here. All the teams, even the teams that have actually already qualified for the quarters, if you look at the quality of the games and how tight they've been, you know, this is now becoming a true Junior World Cup.
Yeah, of the 15 games we've had so far, 9 have been decided by 1 goal.
Totally. You know, Canada ranked 14th, play India last night, the host nation. Maybe a bit of pressure on them being the host nations. India had to score in the last 2 minutes to take that 3 points. Now, I believe 4 years ago you would not have seen that.
England pressing for a third towards the end. Oh, that's an important touch, really important touch, because they were queuing up at the back post.
Good early cross. New Zealand defender got that stick on it, but it could have lifted anywhere, and that's why you're seeing in this tournament again, the amount of crossing coming in early and hard, far higher than previous tournaments.
England changed the side of the ball. Ball's come in, it's bouncing around, chance if they can get the shot away, but it's closed down. It's Farrington on the spin and on the full Bandarak.
Keep going, keep concentrating.
Forward by Sharp. New Zealand win it back. Sharp loses his stick. It's all going on in the centre of the park, and England get the free hit.
Yeah, and they're most probably winning those battles at the moment. The loose ball, how it's been laid out, they're winning those 50-50s, which is mostly helping with a bit of confidence as well.
Nice one touch. This is Proctor. Can't keep it in play.
I think particularly one of the differences I've made between the 2 teams has been from all the defending side midfield area in England, their quality of defending in and around the D. Here's the corner again, and again great pace across that goalkeeper. Luke Taylor really finished that very, very well.
England joined the better of the play towards the end of this first half. And that penalty corner, of course, came from a referral.
And for a lot of these players, most probably in both sides, you know, this is the first tournament they've ever had a umpire referral, and it's very clear you've got to be very calm and where your decision making in close, tight situations when you've seen something you think, actually, I better make a call here. And I hope you notice there as well with England, and I've seen it with a number of different teams, the players around that area all have a quick discussion first, making sure that message that goes across is what is being asked to refer is clear, and making sure that they get the decision that they're looking for.
French waiting to come on, as is Griffiths. This is Roper. Well, as the score stands, England will go into second place above South Africa on goal difference. The goal difference of +1 now. Malaysia 6 points +2. England on the attack looking for a third. Lovely little interplay on the edge of the circle. Good save from the New Zealand keeper Richard Joyce.
Great work from Roper, and he is making a, you know, when you look at a standout or an individual that can influence the game at the moment, Roper is the one on both sides who's making that difference.
Just going back to the table, England will be second, 3 points +1. Malaysia top, 6 +2, 6 points +2 goal difference. England play Malaysia. If England win that one 1-0, then they'll finish top of the pile.
Yeah, it'll be very tight, and as everybody predicted, this pool would go that way.
Say that of course depends on the result between South Africa and New Zealand, so it really is going to go down to the wire, and the wire is tomorrow because both final pool matches take place tomorrow. England, Malaysia at 6 o'clock local time, South Africa, New Zealand 8 o'clock local time. Chance here, can't get the shot away cleanly.
Bull did well there. The initial ball was given away, but Bull did really well because he went across him. But what Andy Bull did really well is to keep that pressure on and make sure that he's in, more or less distracting him, keeping him high and rushing the New Zealander from that.
2.5 minutes remain of the first half. Ball in from Muir is well cut out. Muir with the sideline ball, and again, well, Sharp keeps going. Muir probably guilty of not playing to the whistle.
It's going to be a little bit tighter when you win the ball, and most probably New Zealand could have made more with that cross because actually they had two guys lined up on the far post.
Lala has a little look up. He's got support to his right in the shape of Russell. You won't want to see that one again.
No, I think he'd be a bit disappointed. After all the quality defending he's been doing for New Zealand, that would be something he may not want to see the video feedback on.
Ball can play as quickly to his left. Oh, that's good balance, good strength from Bull. Is it straight up the park? Turned around the corner by French. This is good field. French with the free hit into the circle. Bull finds himself at the front.
Yeah, he carried on his run, actually waiting for the ball to be released.
Oh, good tackle, and New Zealand have a chance here. England trying to get back. Oh dear. Swing and a miss from Rhys Gibbs. He knows.
And when it was one, he'd taken the ball to the line. England had given him a bit of space, and I actually would question why he didn't carry it more into the D.
Kane Russell now running down this right-hand side. Here he is. Russell up against Goodfield. Russell still going. Russell gives away the free hit.
And I think that's the standout for me so far this half. Who's ever ended up for England in that left-hand corner, they've really quality defending, not just from the first man, but they've also covered behind the other. Whereas you've seen in other teams where the loose corners have come in.
That is the half-time hooter. And England will be very pleased with their work in this opening 35 minutes. They scored the opener after 14 minutes and the second goal after 27. They lead by 2-0, but New Zealand have had their chances too. They've had plenty of possession and they won't feel out of this one just yet. You feel they'll have to get the next goal though in this game. If England go to 3-0, then it's going to be a very difficult task for the men in white. But at half-time here, England and John Bleeby, the happier of the two. Grant Edwards needs to go to work on his team. but there's 35 minutes still left of this Pool D clash. It's one that both sides need to win, and it's England that are winning at the moment. It's New Zealand 0, England 2. Berbatov double. Bloody hell. Jenkinson, oh God. Jenkinson, Mertzak, Shelby Gibbs, Arteta, Wilshere, Ramsey, Casado, Sharif, Marlon Walcott, Monreal, Flamini, Howard, Coleman, Leviel. Good side, that Everton side.
Sometimes when you take on a new job, he's really taken that well, hasn't he?
Martinez. Yeah. He's obviously a good manager because he did well at Swansea, he did well at Wigan. Was it Sharp or was it Jonathan Gall who took the interception and ran down the centre? It was Sharp. Welcome back to the Major Dhyanchandra National Stadium in New Delhi. We're at half-time in the final match on day 3 of this Hero Junior World Cup. The half-time score is New Zealand 0, England 2. James Gall and Luke Taylor, the scorers for England. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from that first half. And it was a very even Steven first half, but firstly goal down to Joseph Sharp and his determination, really. Great pickup, great pass, great dive, great stickability, for want of a better word, and James Gore benefiting from all the hard work from his teammates. Good touch there. Gore doesn't panic and slots it into the goal. 1-0 England. New Zealand, as I said, have had their chances, but haven't really tested Harry Gibson in the England goal. And then, well, this was a great chance, wasn't it, for Nicholas Banderak? But as David Faulkner said in commentary, didn't really do enough to move the keeper Richard Joyce. But from a resulting short corner, it was rifled into the roof of the net by Luke Taylor. Taylor putting it across the keeper in the glove side, and delight on the England bench. But the job is only half done. Let's have a look at the stats. David, what do you make of these stats?
Yeah, most probably a fair reflection. I think England just need to be aware about being patient on the ball. I think that, you know, equal number of shots, that's why the message I'm carrying, but yes, great conversion. But I think the difference why New Zealand have stayed in it is at times England have just lost their calmness on the ball and patience. And I think they've just got to show that a little bit more in the second half. The game really hasn't come alive. I'm sure John Bleaby's really pleased with the England side, but there's just enough there for New Zealand to hang on to.
Very good, thank you very much, David. Let's have a look at the pools, and David, stay with us. Pool A, Belgium, Germany, Pakistan, Egypt. What sides have impressed you in that pool?
Well, certainly Belgium. Everybody's commented on them over the last 12 months. You can see the results and key decisions they made in their system 6-7 years ago. You're seeing it in the juniors, they're seeing in the system. So Belgium, Germany for me. Okay,
let's get on to Pool B. Australia, Spain, Argentina and France. Australia and France have already qualified, so those two, I guess.
Yeah, and France must be delighted. You know, I think Australia just looking over their shoulder to see if they're playing Belgium or Germany, really, from their Pool A.
Yeah. Pool C, this is the pool that interests this team because it's the second in Pool B, play the top in Pool C and vice versa. But the big game, isn't it? Korea, India on Tuesday. Now, that is an absolute belter.
Yeah, and don't take anything away from Holland. They came here, really competed well against Korea, India and put them away. And yes, that will be a belter, and I think we're going to see some pretty tense night.
And then finally, Pool D, this group. This is how, well, going into this, if we would translate 2-0 up, England would be up into second place with a +1 goal difference on 3 points, playing Malaysia next. So that's an interesting game as well.
And everybody said before the tournament, this is the one that will go down to the last game and even the last few minutes of those games as well. That'd be really tight.
Well, the junior Black Stick supporters are in the mood. They're enjoying the tunes being played out by the DJ here. But the men in white have it all to do in the second 35. The England fans, typically Britishly reserved. Wonderful.
Yeah, the New Zealand are very optimistic and they'll just wait their moment. I think you're right. And most probably just off the game at the moment, as you can see.
There we go. Well, it's good to see them enjoying themselves. A long way for both sets of fans to come.
Yeah, and if you looked at that across all the sides, actually, you can see the families that are supporting all this. And look, these young boys have come through all their junior systems, they've played in their continent, and this is the first time to play internationally in such a worldwide tournament.
Well, there we go. Here we wait, then the start of the second half, but we're just waiting for the official nod. The team's out fairly early, and just as I say, waiting for the nod from the technical bench. It'll be England that get us underway in the second half when we eventually get there. The clock in the stadium says we have 10 seconds left, so we're obviously sticking to the timetable, and we should have the whistle just about now. Here we go, England then attacking the goal to our right-hand side, leading by 2-0, and the next goal in this game you feel is crucial. And it almost comes from a prostrate David Goodfield.
Great start from England, good pace on the ball, good shape, and getting that cross in early.
Lala with it. Sharp trying to find the foot. Morris. To Muir firing it up the sideline to Elder. Elder trying to come inside. He's got the advantage playing. New Zealand. Oh, it doesn't quite break for them. They keep it alive. Ooh. That's the long corner given as Richie goes to grab. Both teams getting opportunities within the first, minute of the second half getting underway. They've got to be careful here, England.
Umpire's called that obstruction.
But 2-0 up, I think you take it, don't you? And then you... But 2-0 up, I think you take the decision and you don't refer it. I think if you were 1-0 up and it was a little later in the game, you would refer it.
Yeah, I think that's where the judgment Andy Ball is coming in with as captain of the side, just to make that call.
Wow. Kane Russell, number 14. There he is, left of centre. Woods to his right. First penalty corner for the junior Black Sticks. Kane Russell, he can really generate some power. So England need to try and keep this out if they can. An early goal for New Zealand at the start of the second half would be the ideal lift for them. It's Russell, but again, down at this left-hand end, there's trouble. Now, is Ball going to refer this for being too high? He's thinking about it. They're thinking about it. Did we see a replay?
It's not the first time we've seen him mistrap that in as well.
Did you think that was high? Sorry,
no, it's no danger.
There's no danger. No.
Okay, so we just referred to the other umpire who says no danger. Yeah, I've done 2 tournaments here previously, World Cup, Olympic qualifier and Hockey World League round 3, and at this end there was always trouble trapping the ball. We are going upstairs this time.
Yeah, and the assistant the umpire were pretty clear what they're going to say.
Okay. Tim, you there? Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me ask a question, right? Tim, England are saying that the ball hit too high on their defender, and it should be a free hit coming out and not a penalty corner. Okay, I'll have a look.
That's pretty clear.
So when he comes out wide here, what he's saying is, well, it hit his backside. So
which is above the knee.
Yes, which is above the knee, which is the normal ruling. And I think what the video was just got to assess. Yeah, and see that one, it didn't hit a foot, which is what I heard from the umpire.
Very low now.
It does get low, but you would argue that his bottom is still above his knee. Now, has the umpire, Tim Pullman of Australia, seen enough? The video umpire. Could go either way, this one.
Right, I have a decision for you. Okay, Tim. There is no clear reason to change your decision. Penalty corner stands. England lose their referral.
So penalty corner stands, and you can kind of understand.
It's always one of those that's the in-between, you know. The England defender was quite low, and in the judgment, the video umpire, that's where he's saying there's no reason to change the decision.
But more importantly, England have lost their referral, and if New Zealand now go and score, that challenge could be crucial later on. So, here we go, Russell and Woods again in attendance at the top of the circle. It's going to be Russell once more. Russell low to the keeper's right, and New Zealand are right back in it, and it is a worst case scenario for England. They lose the referral and concede the goal.
Yeah, they made the call, but Russell, fantastic. We saw him against Malaysia with his 2 corners. They know of the threat, and he came out on the left castle, driven hard, low to Gibson's right, good corner.
And New Zealand probably deserve a goal on their performance so far. You could see either side being in the lead. terms of chances created, but delight all round on the bench and in the stands. The third goal of the tournament for Kane Russell. And it's going to be interesting to see how England respond here.
You can see New Zealand actually have stepped up the field as well. Their pressing is far higher up the pitch.
There you go, confirmation of the 3 goals in the tournament, all from penalty corners. Yeah, good take from Roper. Ball shifts it down the England left. This is good field, still going, wins the free hit. Roper. It out. Ball in, gets the long corner. Roper. Another long corner.
Asking a lot of questions, Roper, when he's in and around the D. He must not, for England's purpose, he must keep doing that.
Well, he's got absolutely no options at all. As Roper eventually. Roper tries to return the pass.
You can see New Zealand are trying to keep it in that corner anyway.
But again, England player taking the long corner has very few options. It's about the best you can hope for. So good defending from New Zealand. Roper just getting in front of Nick Woods.
And Roper's involved, as we've mentioned, in quite a few things at the moment. And similar to how England played the first half, New Zealand are really trying to stretch the game now. And if you've seen, as we saw England when they're stretching it with 3 forwards high, New Zealand have started to do that the second half as well.
This is Hazlitt. Puts it out to Russell. This is Woods. Woods firing it out the left-hand side. Bit of an aimless ball. England get the 16. Ball. The park. To Proctor. Proctor wins the sideline ball, and Hazlitt just been spoken to. Proctor drops it out to Bull. Now England look to switch it around the back and move up the left-hand side. Long corner.
New Zealand defending quite well actually in deep, and each time are forcing the ball round into that left corner, which they seem quite happy to do.
England this time have brought it all the way back out. It's probably a better option. Roper with a super take. Into the circle it goes. It's all a bit too narrow from England at the moment. Needs to be shifted across to that far right, and there now. A deflection, and New Zealand have it. This is Miskimin, but Miskimin loses out.
And it was good umpiring as well, because he could have blown it early, and he did give New Zealand the opportunity.
Muir back to get him Roper's way. Ball takes a couple of steps up the park, fires it into Albury, who drops it out. England don't need to chase the game here, they don't need to force it. It's a good ball by Bull over the top, but Griffiths can't bring it under control.
Most of England have had to make a few adjustments without having Argentina with the extra forward. They're most probably rotating a few more players in midfield and forwards as well, which is most probably not what they're used to. Especially as now we've got the 18 players, it does make a massive difference.
Opportunity there for James Gould, but he can't quite bring it under control. Hazlitt. Roper penalised for the tackle on Woods. Nice ball at the top of the circle, in it goes now. Panchir, can he find something? Penalty corner. Off the foot. It's Faulkner who was in attendance, and I think it's hit his foot as he spins here. Yeah.
And Johnny Morris is doing the first pickup from the ball across, was left loose, and he really did well to move that into the D.
So, New Zealand and Russell with a chance to make it 2 each. Rhys Gibbs comes across for the injection. Kane Russell is on the park, as is Nick Woods. Now, can England work out how to defend Kane Russell at this penalty corner? And it comes, and again it bobbles up.
That's good defending. And you know, even with the error, you know you can get corners and there could be something happening, but it was really important they got low in that defending their area.
I'd be interested to know if the line's just a little bit raised down there.
No, from my previous experience here, I actually think it's to do with the nap, and sometimes when they've laid pitches, and if you've noticed, there's when the ball goes away from the main stand across here, you're getting the skip in the ball. So here we are here, and it may have just skipped before the line. And this is the bit of really good defending there.
Yeah, Albury with it. James Albury. Good take from Proctor. Proctor gets left behind, tricks himself.
England, when you've got a release like that, England need to release the ball a little bit more. As soon as you ponder on it, one, they can get tackled back, but also it reduces your options going forward.
Yeah, nice piece of skill from Gould to his brother. And Jonathan Gould fires it up to the circle edge, but Proctor can't bring it under control, but Roper takes the quick sideline ball.
And that was a great pick from Russell then, just in front of Goodfield.
Russell.
He'll be disappointed with that because he did all the good work.
Shouts of not five, but he was definitely standing on the circle edge when the ball was struck, so just moves quickly. Oh, well, that's very loose from Russell, trying to drive it through cover.
New Zealand played that pretty well then.
Yeah, they seem to have got the long corners sort of sewn up in terms of defence, haven't they?
Very similar to England in the first half, actually, which is what their strength was there.
Going to be a rather nervy, edgy last 21.5 minutes for both sides. New Zealand just have the upper hand, you feel, don't they, at the moment?
You know, I don't change anything I said before. The game hasn't really come alight, and it may really come down to those unforced errors, getting good decision making on the ball. That's what most of you are going to see.
Here is Woods. Go hunting. Roper nicked the ball. No, he can't. He's been beaten by Rhys Gibbs, so he's got to work hard to get goal side. Gives away the free hit. Cheeks being chewed.
That's better defending in and around the D from Bull and Faulkner there, where, you know, when making sure that if the ball's going in, they're meeting the ball first time.
Oh, Gore, you don't want to be doing that there. Gore loses a shoe. And he'll keep going until such time. Well, Gibson didn't have to play that, did he?
No, he didn't. He got and he was fortunate that he took a New Zealand deflection, went in the air. So here it was robbed, and he takes his shoe off. But that's the kind of decision I'm talking about, where you're giving the opposition just a hint that there's an opportunity for them to take.
Yeah, don't want to be mucking around with it on your 25 either set of defenders. Keep the ball moving. Oh, well, they've come back into the player when they'd gone for the corner. It's Proctor. Proctor carried on for the corner.
He could have done, and also the umpire may, you know, I think he appreciated the New Zealander slip then, but his body went straight into the ball.
Oh, an important gap there from Creed, because Radovanic should have been away.
It's well read, but they can't afford to have a turnover like that. You know, both sides, every now and then, they win the ball and the turnover, and that's why the game hasn't really got going.
Not only they win the ball, they then pile men forward and lose it, and they're exposed behind. Creed opting to play it on the reverse stick rather than getting it strong and driving. Both sides have had a day off, so there shouldn't really be any fitness issues.
No, I think it'll be more about nerves and mentality of how approaching the game between the two sides.
It's good work by Griffiths. McIntyre trying to find the diagonal ball, and Rhys Gibbs gets half a touch on it, but England bring it away to Sharp.
Yeah, good defending by Sharp then. He reacted really well, and he's been really sprightly around the field today, not just offensively but defensively.
Good work from Creed.
Great pick again from Russell. He's just tidy, a really tidy player. All that odd 1 and 2 where he reads the ball.
Oh, that's a good take from Taylor, coming around the outside of Miskimmin. Miskimmin keeps going though. Still going. Good work from Harry Miskimmin for New Zealand. And England have a quarter of the match to hang on at the moment, because they haven't really created anything meaningful since the opening sort of 30 seconds of the second half.
Yeah, they've lost their intent a little bit, you know, where we saw in the first half their ability to get forward, they defend early, their first option is forward. They've just lost that a little bit from the first half, which they set up a number of chances with.
Ball across. Wow, it's found its way through, and French can't bring it under control. Well, there was a real chance.
And those are the little moments.
Full length dive from Taylor. To get the ball out of play, and another good tackle from Taylor. Now they've got to be careful here, England. And the New Zealand player's gone to ground, so he's always in danger of conceding the free hit. It was Kim Kingston who was on the deck.
As he's round, you know, the England players are low, good defending. He just threw himself at the body there.
Well, we saw a penalty stroke. Now this is the other option down the other end, David.
Yeah, where it is here, just take your time. Just rushed it. Most probably took his eye off the ball.
He was thinking, oh no, it's on me. McIntyre brings it forward. McIntyre over the halfway line. A swinging stick from French, but he's been robbed, McIntyre. Ooh, Russell again. So Roper, the two key players for either side.
And for me, they are the two key players on this pitch at the moment, because they're the ones who are ending up in any patterns of play. And that's the tidiness. Both sides, you know, are just winning the ball and then quite, easily giving the ball away.
Chance here. Well, that's a smart tackle.
Well done. Taylor there got that stick in and cut, really good jump back from there and got it away.
And now down the other end, French has a go. This is end-to-end stuff here. Not much structure to this game. But both sides looking for the goal-scoring opportunity. A goal for England here would make life very difficult for New Zealand. If New Zealand get one, well, they'll fancy nicking one for the win, won't they?
Yeah, they will. And for me, the difference between the two sides, I know England leading 2-1, is level of turnover, making sure that when they have won the ball and they're careful with it, all the opportunity to really penetrate the opposition.
Bouncing ball as well, picked up by Luke Taylor. The ball transfers it out to that right hand side. It was the touched off Pantier. Faulkner to Bull. Taylor over on this right side of the centre of defence. This is Creed. Creed comes back out to Taylor. Let's have a look at the stats. 47-53 in England's favour. I think that really reflects the second half. Look at the circle penetrations, 13-12 in the White Sticks. But here come England to level up the circle penetrations. Good defensive work by Angus Hazlitt.
I just wonder if young French could have carried that a little bit more and come in field. If you watch, it was a great aerial. First mistake we've really seen. Russell. Yeah, and I just wonder if he could have come in field a little bit more.
Well, you would imagine England are going to have a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes of the upper hand towards the end of this match. It's what they do with it. This could be it. That's a nice little Skies ball. They try to win the penalty corner, but good defence from New Zealand.
And they've seemed to have got their shape back now the last few minutes, just keeping a bit more patience, playing the ball around.
Good speed on the ball there from Taylor. That's a lovely little ball. Creed and acres of space. Now, can he use it? Can he put a good ball in? It's in, the deflection! Oh, and it's half cleared by Crefier into the body of the oncoming England player, but that's a really decent ball. Look at that for a pass.
Brandon laid that off really well. And the decision making here from Krieg is very good. He looks to pinpoint. Just unfortunate where it fell. It fell in between the two England players. The New Zealand defender was able to just pick that off.
It was Banderac and French, I think. Two England players hovering. And England enjoying their best moments of the second half here. Nice skill. There's the support. There it is. It's goal. Into the circle. Shot comes in. Good save. Wasn't any real venom in the shot from Goodfield. But the save had to be made nevertheless by Richard Joyce in the New Zealand goal. And, well, England on the ascendancy a little bit. Crefier comes in field, into the circle it goes, deflection off Ritchie, 16.
think if we just look at that chance again, I think he may have rushed that strike that came in. So ball here, around. He just looked to put it at target. I don't think there's any fault there. However, there was an England player on the far post.
I think it was Proctor over on that far side. Actually, or Sharp, one of the two. Lala drops it out to Hazlitt. Hazlitt to Russell. Russell wings it up the park. Oh, it's fallen nicely. Good save, another good save. Wow, what an opportunity for George Muir, but Harry Gibson equal to it.
Outstanding.
Double save from the England goalkeeper, and he's on call again. England need to get this clear, they need to get a stick on the ball. They do. And Harry Gibson has kept his team in front here with 3 very smart saves, the first 2 exceptional.
Very good, good balance as well. When you see it was a great pick here. He got the shot in first, he read that well, but was more importantly, he was back up on his feet, and that for me was the important bit, not just the first save, but the ability to get back on his feet again.
So 10 minutes to go. New Zealand 1, England 2. This game still very much for the taking for either side. We've seen 2 games that have had 3 goals in 3 minutes. Australia, Argentina, 3 goals for Australia in 3 minutes, and 3 goals in 90 seconds. And again, Gibson has to be smart in the Spain-France game.
Yeah, and I think Gibson took no risk then, because he just had to make sure that he cleared it, because he didn't know where there was a deflection. Good bit of goalkeeping again. If you look, it was taken really quickly here, put in. He could, again, it came through a bunch of players. He most probably wouldn't take that risk.
Nice touch from Sharp. Proctor defended, but the whistle had already gone. Important tackle from Farrington. Now Farrington, what can he do here? Well,
and I think his decision was poor, because I think it was Gall had gone out on the right-hand side for him. I think John Bleaver on the bench is also making that point as well.
Yeah, you can see him talking to French and Jonathan Gall, saying just calm down, use it wisely. Here's Proctor. And again, with Roper in the middle, England can almost afford to hang on to the ball a little bit longer. They're not chasing the game.
Yeah, and also I think you're just starting to see tiredness creep in, most probably on both sides here, and especially with New Zealand trying to push it as well to get that extra goal.
Hazlitt. Now England have possession. They've got players up the field, and it's a good pass from Roper. Ball into the centre is deflected away, and trying to get there is Miskimin. He will keep it in play, and England have to put the extra mile in now.
A few boys out there, both sides walking in treacle. They're getting a bit tired.
One of them is Phil Roper. He's absolutely spent, isn't he? He's got nothing left. Running on fumes for the final 7 minutes.
And I can see on both sides there'll be chances both ends now.
Griffiths comes in field. Griffiths still going. Surely will win the free hit with a challenge from George Muir. Roper to Bull.
And New Zealand are pushing forward, so there will be gaps for England to take advantage of, but they've got to be wary that New Zealand are looking to win every ball to get forward.
Well, just like there, but Sharp is sharp to win it back. And that is, you're going to have a go from deep.
Yeah, he did. He just overhit it slightly there because the French had made the run to the baseline.
This is Woods. Woods wins the free hit. 6 minutes remaining. Goals are a premium now, more so than ever, because there's very little time to answer it.
England have gone very deep, and they must not encourage the ball to be hit in.
Yeah, that's good play.
Yeah, good defending and good. I saw Andy Ball there directing everybody and lining up, similar to what we've seen with Russell doing that for New Zealand, but you know, mastering that in terms of defending.
Yeah, Fulton, the player who was cool under pressure and let it go. New Zealand turning the screw in these final minutes. It's to the top of the circle. This is dangerous. Roper. Well, there's a penalty corner. And Gibson makes the stop. With a chance here for the junior Black Sticks.
And I think England were just lax at the top of the D, because when the free hit from the sideline came in, he was free in the middle, and I don't think they'd lined up.
So under 5 minutes remaining, George Muir has won a penalty corner for his side. And Kane Russell. Will step up to try and equalise for New Zealand, just as he did against Malaysia in the opener when they were 2-1 down. Nervous moments for all concerned. Here we go then. Russell it is. Good save by Harry Gibson. Comfortable height for him, but he had to make it.
Yeah, and also I think he mostly learnt from the first corner as well, and just set up his positioning from there.
Advantage being played to New Zealand.
And you can see the hunger in the New Zealand with it winning that ball.
Griffiths, big wobble from him.
Yeah, well done. And I think, you know, that was calm because it just needed someone to get the stick on the ball. But let's look at the corner. He got it, and he got it early actually. But yes, very well read. And I think, knowing that most probably he's seen Russell's flicks from the video replays from the previous games, he knows that bottom corner's right, and he'd already moved to that angle.
But it also he's done well because he hasn't palmed it into Matt Rees-Gibbs and given away another penalty corner. He's got enough of an angle on it to take it out of play and out of harm's way. So 3:20 remaining. New Zealand have removed their goalkeeper. There he is. Richard Joyce. They realised that
it'd be interesting what England do now, because they'll keep the stretch, but obviously New Zealand, what they've done is they've put an extra man, so you'll see when they're stretching, they're putting 4 up front. And this is the second time we've seen New Zealand do this, because they did this in the first game.
The ball is with Ritchie, transferring it over to that right-hand side where Radovanic plays it up the park. Hunting for the short corner is Morris. He's won the penalty hit, which Radovanic will take. This is Morris. Morris onto the reverse stick, into the circle it comes. Big flat stick on the top of the circle. They've got to be careful here, England! Goal! And New Zealand are back on level terms with 2 minutes remaining.
And there were a couple of times there where England had it and they were loose in the D and they've been punished for it. It'll be interesting now. I think New Zealand are looking to put their goalkeeper back on the field of play. So if you look here, they won it here, lost. They won it here, and it was lost, and then they punished.
Rhys Gibbs with the telling strike through Gibson's legs. Disappointment for England, but you have to say it was coming. New Zealand have had the upper hand in the second half.
They have. They've most probably set the tone of play and most probably taken the best advantage of when they've had the ball.
Well, England, will they get one more chance? Here they are around the back, lovely ball, but not enough men in red there. Is there to be another late twist in the tail here? Another goal would knock out the side that concedes it. The keeper's back on. Richard Joyce. Confirmation of that, sorry.
And you're just noticing the 50-50s at the moment. England need to start winning those just to make sure that the point is in the bag, never mind the three.
Now, a point for England, and they would have to beat Malaysia and hope that whatever result they get against Malaysia, New Zealand don't better against South Africa, and if South Africa win against New Zealand, then it doesn't matter what England do. But there's 60 seconds remaining in this one, and it comes! What a chance that was. He's still not away.
New Zealand got the deflection on that, I think.
Roper. Oh, that's a pretty horrible tackle from Crefier, but he gets away with it in terms of not conceding the short corner. Bull, is he going to wind one up? And it comes, deflected in! There was a real chance for Banderak at the far post, but he's missed it.
It was a lovely move. If you look at the ball that goes to the baseline, across the goal.
Well, it's taken 31.5 minutes for England to produce something like that in this half, and Banderak, oh dear, dear.
If only he was lower, he could have got to the ball.
Good take? No. And into the final 10 seconds, and these two teams won't be split. This will be the first draw of the competition. There is the final hooter, and New Zealand have broken England hearts. You look at the body language of the England players. To a man, they're on their knees. They can't believe they haven't won it. But what it means is that both New Zealand and England have 1 point. Malaysia have 6 points and South Africa have 3. England have to beat Malaysia and hope that their result is better than that of New Zealand against South Africa. They need New Zealand to at least draw against South Africa.
Yeah, no, that's in the place we're in. But, you know, what we've seen in the last 5 minutes is the little percentages around international sport. You know, England didn't have a great second half. New Zealand capitalised, but even at the end, England had the opportunity to take the 3 points.
Some real heroics from Harry Gibson, but it wasn't enough for England because the full-time score here reads New Zealand 2, England 2. Well, what a game of hockey we have just witnessed. England seemingly in control at half-time, 2-0 up. We said the first goal of the second half would be crucial. It went the way of New Zealand, and England were hanging on. They were indebted to Harry Gibson for 3 or 4 very fine saves to keep the scoreline at 2-1, but in the end he just couldn't keep out the shot from Matt Rhys-Gibbs, and that goal 2 minutes from time drew level. Having said that, England had 2 good chances to win it in the final 90 seconds, the best of which fell to Nicholas Banderak, but he couldn't convert. Let's have a look at the highlights. This is the first goal down low to Harry Gibson's right from Kane Russell, his 3rd of the tournament, and from behind the far goal, it's a very good flick. Then, as I say, as we got towards the death, opportunity to clear there, opportunity to clear there, neither taken. On the reverse stick, nutmegs Gibson, and New Zealand were level. And again, these 2 opportunities to clear and disappointed, but then look at this, a beautifully worked move. Ball into good field, across the face of goal. Nicholas Banderak, with the goal at his mercy, couldn't get the connection. So here are the match stats. Circle penetrations, all very, very even, and I guess a draw is the fair result. But well, it's all to play for still in Pool D, but England and New Zealand have a lot of work to do in their final games. 2-2 the final score, and England will be very disappointed. So, the match stats show an even game. The scoreline was very even. And let's go to the presentation party for the man of the match.
Yes, we are just getting our breath back after a breathtaking encounter in Pool D, which still stays alive in this Hero Junior Hockey World Cup, thanks to the 2-2 draw between New Zealand and England. Now, moving on to the presentation, I have the pleasure of being joined by Colonel Balbir Singh, Arjuna awardee and Olympian, and he'll be presenting the Hero Man of the Match Trophy Award to Phil Roper from England. Well played, Phil, but it must be tough for your team, a defeat and a draw now, so everything to do for tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got a lot to do tomorrow against Malaysia, but it was a great performance by the lads. We really showed some really good fight. Just a silly mistake cost at the end.
You had a massive advantage in the first half, so what went wrong in the second half? Was there a drop in concentration at some level?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, New Zealand came out hard. I still think we tried to play our game out there, but just as I said, just one silly mistake at the end.
I suppose one thing which is plain for you is you know what you've got to do tomorrow. Just come out there and give it your best.
Come out here, give it our all, and see what happens.
Well played today, and all the best for tomorrow's game.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Deban. Well, let's have a look at how Pool D stands. England still bottom of the pile. They play Malaysia at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. New Zealand take on South Africa in the last game. So England must win. If they win, they go to 4 points. And South Africa, well, if they get a win, they are through, and it doesn't matter what England do. It's very evenly poised, isn't it, David?
And as we said earlier, this pool was always the one recognised it will go to the wire. That's what they've done. England most probably are going to be reflecting today, really disappointed. Most probably New Zealand, most probably a little bit of energy come from that, because they actually came out and really drove the second half and put England under pressure.
Okay, let's have a look at tomorrow's schedule. Pool B and D again in action. Argentina, Spain get us underway at 2 o'clock local time. Then it's Australia against France. That's 1 against 2. Australia first in Pool B against France second in Pool B. Those two have qualified for the quarterfinals, so Argentina and Spain, maybe they'll just tinker a little bit. Then into Pool D, England, Malaysia, South Africa up against New Zealand. But for England, well, a big debrief, and they have it all to do. But 2 games that they could have won, possibly should have won, South Africa and New Zealand.
And I think that's, totally right. And I think, you know, we talked about the stats earlier, about putting things on the end of the stats. Most probably the second half, though, you've got to give credit to New Zealand. They came out and attacked, got in England's faces and generated that pressure. Even saying that, England still had the time and the chances at the end of it to take it away.
Well, we have got Pools B and D to come tomorrow from all of us here at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium. Thanks for your company on day 3. I hope you'll come back and join us for day 4 tomorrow. But in our final match, it's finished 2-2.